Well, controversy on campuses across the country. First at Cornell University, where students displayed disturbing cartoons at a social justice event on the Ivy League campus, one depicting the GOP as Jihadi John. Then at two middle schools, where a teacher forced her students to sing a song about spreading Islam, and then another assigned students to a terror propaganda poster. They had to come up with propaganda posters to join ISIS. Here to react is Caleb Bonham. He broke the Cornell story. He's a co-founder of DCO Consulting and the editor-at-large of Hitline.org. Nice to see you this morning, Caleb. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Clayton.
All right, let's start with the story you broke at Cornell. What in the world is the social justice event, and how can they justify likening the GOP to Jihadi John? Explain that.
Oh, well, the justification is the most outrageous part. Yeah, so at Cornell University, they put on in the Industrial and Labor Relations Department a sort of labor roundtable for students to get together and talk about social justice, and they featured art from these cartoonists that are big in the labor movement. Now, obviously, this event was sponsored by the Teamsters, by a lot of union-based organizations, and they put up artwork all across the room that featured things like the GOP elephant sexually assaulting a woman, and most offensively, the GOP as Jihadist John in his black clothes garb with a innocent man standing next to him, and the elephant is holding out a knife, presumably about to behead this man. Now, the university's response was that this is supposed to expand dialogue, tolerance, and acceptance in the university community.
Yeah, I mean, it's just outrageous, and so much so that it's Sunday morning. We're not going to show you the sexually assaulting GOP elephant, by the way, on national television. I want to get their response, which you just said. Cornell's Dean of Industrial and Labor Relations said this. Kevin Hollick said, "This year's display again includes some strong images," he said, "a few of which have provoked complaints, but art can sometimes shock and be controversial." Is that a sufficient response?
No, absolutely not. Look, free speech must be protected, and we must protect that free speech. But here's the important thing. There's nothing wrong with him being rational, coming out and saying, look, in light of 130 people being viciously murdered in Paris just last week, we're not going to allow probably half of the Cornell students who consider themselves to be Republican, conservatives, to be likened to Jihadist John and ISIS. It's absolutely unacceptable.
You know, we heard the other story about the Utah school, of course, using having the students create propaganda posters for people to join ISIS as a classroom exercise. How would you develop propaganda posters? And then also the lyrics at another school in California, the middle school, having the kids sing about the spread of Islam, switching up the fight song lyrics, talking about God and creating explosions like a sandstorm in the desert, sending camels into motion, like how a single faith can make a heart open. I'm not singing this, I'm actually reading this. They might only have one God, but they can make an explosion. Those were the lyrics. What is going on, Caleb? Obviously, parents were upset about this when they learned about it.
Well, yeah, there's two big things here. Number one, in California, this school that and this teacher forced her 7th grade students to sing this pro-Islam song. This song, if you actually look at the lyrics, and I encourage all the viewers to Google these lyrics, they include things like, who cares if Jews or Christians don't believe in Allah? We must spread Islam, and that it is an Islam fight song. The militant perspective of this is absolutely outrageous. However, I don't think any religion believes public school officials should be teaching kids about religion. In just a week, that same school is going to be putting on a winter concert. They're not even calling it Christmas. Why? Because calling it a Christmas concert, as we've seen time and time again, is far too offensive to those who may not identify as Christians.
But
they're going to, on the other hand, allow for that song to be sung.
Right, exactly. On the other hand, allow them to create a song and sing a song about the spread of Islam. Caleb, great to see you this morning. Unbelievable.
Take care, Clayton.